First of all, thank you guys all for being here. What an awesome day, am I right? My name is Emily, and I'm Jenna's sister. More specifically, I am her older sister, which is a fact that shocked dozens of Walmart cashiers throughout the years after they asked if we were twins, and maybe with good reason. She did outgrow me when I was like 8 and she was 6. But Jenna has also been the first to experience a lot of life's milestones. To name a few, she was the first one to break a bone at the ripe age of 9 months, so she really came out swinging with that one. She was the first one to get her ears pierced. She was the first one to get our parents to cave on getting us a pet, which again kind of makes sense. I really wanted a lizard, and the rest of the family was a little bit more interested in a kitten. So as we've grown up and outgrown our lizard phases, our sisterhood has been strengthened by some of Jenna's more enduring firsts. She is the first person that I make eye contact with when the mention of a singular word sparks some traumatizingly embarrassing memory, which I have a lot of. She is the first person to celebrate her friends and express genuine joy at their accomplishments with an attitude of humility and humble generosity. She's the first to dismiss unnecessary worries and be fully present in the here and now. She's not the first to speak. She listens earnestly and sincerely, and beneath her sunny disposition is a depth that few people may understand, but all who do cherish very deeply. And she's also the first person that made me really deeply evaluate my faith. After so many years of me thinking that I needed to display religion for her, she responded by showing Jesus to me. To know Jenna is to see and experience the love that's described in 1 Corinthians 13, which you may be familiar with if you've ever gone to any other wedding in your whole life. It's a love that is patient, kind, does not envy or boast, is not proud. When we were kids, the sisterly love that we had was pretty much the opposite of that on all accounts. So how much sweeter it is for me to now know my sister as part of my testimony, because in order for me to really know the love of Christ, she needed to be transformed first. She's also the first and only person I know that cannot even participate in the debate of milk before or after cereal because she doesn't use milk at all. And most recently, she is the first to be in a serious relationship. For the purposes of the theme, I am not including the time that I wore my boyfriend's name on a bracelet in the 7th grade as a serious relationship. Enter Peter Elliott. So when Jenna told my mom and I that they were discussing engagement, I did what any supportive sister would do, and I went through all of our old text messages to find incriminating evidence that I could later use to embarrass both Jenna and Peter on their wedding day. Peter hates being the center of attention. He and I share that. That was a joke. So I'd like to draw your attention to these framed screenshots that tell the story of their love. You might not be able to read it. I will read it for you. It all starts with a poetic line from Jenna. A guy asked me on a date. I said, "Who?" Peter Elliott. Met him through church. He's in his late 20s, I think. His bro is an elder at Christcom. And I literally don't know him, all caps, at all. Can't stress that enough, she says. She and I then go on to discuss whether or not she should go on a date with Peter Elliott. I would like to point out that I did encourage her to do so. So there have been other claims of responsibility for this wedding, but I think I'm up there. At the very end of the conversation, she closes with, "I guess I'll just go on a casual, all caps, casual date." Kelly says hi. So surprising as it may be, they did go on a date, a very casual one. And then they went on another one, and another after that, and a few more. And then Jenna asked me one day if I wanted to meet Peter on one of my visits to Champaign. Anyone that knows Peter knows it was a huge deal that he willingly missed a home Illinois basketball game to take Jenna and I to dinner and pay for it with an appetizer. Continuing on the theme of first, my first impression of Peter was that he was kind of quiet, a little reserved, but the more that I got to know Peter, the more that I realized he really is the perfect match for Jenna, and just compliments her in all the best ways. He's very thoughtful and intentional. He's organized. He's meticulous. He's a great cook, an excellent baker, and he still supports Jenna's obsession with Red Lobster. He has a sense of humor that I either relate with on every level or none at all. And I really joined Team Peter when one day after hanging out with our family, he told Jenna he would still want to be friends with me even if they weren't dating. So even among his excellent cooking and baking skills, he clearly has exceptional taste. Above all, though, Peter values his relationship with Jesus over everything else, and I know he pushes Jenna to do the same as they grow in Christ together. And so, here we are, celebrating what can very honestly be described as a match made in heaven. You both are so full of love and grace and kindness and curiosity, and you make other people want to know more about Jesus. Jenna may have been mine first, but I did always have a sinking suspicion that she would want to start sharing her major life events with someone else in the picture. And so while I really do not like sharing anything, especially when it comes to my sister, for Peter, I'll allow it. So we now are getting to the point that I have been dreading where I have to give up the microphone. So I'd like to leave you with a toast. If everyone could please raise their glass. From this day forward, may you experience a lifetime of firsts together and many fewer seconds apart. Cheers to the Elliots. I love you guys.